Hello, Blizzard fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is a game between Tang and Nemesis on Iron Fortress LE. Now, Tang is a Zerg player who recently hit Grandmaster, and he posted a replay pack on the allthingszerg subreddit to celebrate that fact, and I asked him if I could cast a few of them on my channel, and he said he would be honored. So because he's so nice, I figured I'd cast, 5 or 6 or 7 replays. This might be the last one that I do, depending if I find another really fun one in there or not. So, before we get too farther in, this is our hero, Tang, the red Zerg in the bottom left. And in the top left, we have Nemesis, the blue Protoss player. Now, I think we've cast a game with a Nemesis before. I'm trying to remember if that was a Protoss player or not, but I believe Tang beat them. So, we will see if we get a similar result in this game or not. I'm going to speed the game just up just a little bit here, although we do have a probe coming out fairly quickly. We'll keep an eye on him and see what he's up to. He does scout exactly to where Tang is, so a little bit of a lucky scout there on his part. Comes on in, sees what he can see, sees no spawning pool yet, does a little bit of harassment, sees the spawning pool go down, and okay, he's not actually trying to block out the expansion or anything. He just kind of wants to see if he can get under Tang's skin with some of this probe harassment. His shields are coming back now. Just kind of zapping things, and what I like to do when this happens, if you get all of your workers at the same time to attack at once, they can usually catch the probe and kill it, but it takes a lot of drones off of mining. It kind of hurts your economy. So pro players and players at the level of Tang do not do that. You'll notice he's not going to pull any workers off to try to kill it. He's just going to micro his workers away so that there's nothing to worry about. He doesn't actually lose anybody in that attack. So we're going to slow it back on down. At the front we have a Nexus. We have a forge and a gateway going down. So there is a forge, but no forward pylon. So the cannon here is going to be for defense. It's not as far back as I would like to see, just because a roach attack can get right up here in this area and actually, actually get in and attack this photon cannon from outside the wall. So what you'll see from some Protoss players is putting it a couple pixels or a couple hexes back to where it can hit the roaches, but the roaches cannot hit it. So Zerglings are out now. Can I chase in that probe around? Do we want to take a third base? Yes, we do. You want to take a third when a Protoss player does take that fast expansion as well. You want to be on 3 base, 2-2 against the Protoss player. Zergling might be able to kill this probe depending on how quickly he scoots on back home. What do we have coming from Tang? Pretty much just workers and queens and that third base. He doesn't have any gas yet. It's a total gasless opening, which means he's not going to try a Baneling bust or anything too crazy here. Cyber Core coming down for Nemesis. Income tab shows 25 to 20 harvesters. That Chrono Boost really doing a lot of work for Nemesis. He's not saving Chrono for the Warp Gate at all. And yeah, the cannon takes down the Zergling who chases the probe all the way up here. And the probe survives the journey home. So the scouting Zergling, however, did see the Forge and the Gateway and the Cybernetics Core, so knows there's nothing too crazy coming yet. There's not going to be a super early Stargate or anything like that, although we will see the tech path from Nemesis in just a second as the Cyber Core has just finished. The third base is almost up. I wonder if this probe has something of mischief on his mind to come down and try to throw out some cannons at this third or what, but we'll have to see what he's up to. Gas being taken now by Tang, just a single gas geyser. And here comes the probe, noticing that, yes, the third hatchery did come up. He doesn't want to try to deny it or anything, just making sure it's not a 2-base all-in coming from the Zerg player. So he knows the third base is up. It wasn't canceled or anything crazy like that, and he's going to head back on home with that information. This Speedling will not be a Speedling anytime soon. He is stuck being a Slowling, just a regular old Zergling. He won't be able to catch this guy, unfortunately. Now we see the Chrono Boost going down on the Warp Gate, though, so I wonder if a bit of a 7-gate is on its way. Oh no, a Dark Shrine building in the top left of his main. Nemesis is going to go Dark Templar. And can this be scouted at all by Tang? He doesn't have any overlords nearby to try to fly over and see this. It's a really tough place to get to for the Zerg player. I mean, I guess he could start over here, fly across this area. It's a fairly short distance, but from all the way down here, all the way up there, there's just a lot of room for stalkers to see the scouting overlord and shoot it down. So I'm not sure if Tang's going to be ready for this or not. What's he doing? Evolution Chambers, Roach Warren coming up, upgrading to a lair, so he'll be able to get Overseers if he doesn't recognize the Dark Templar are there in time. But a Stalker out now, taking down that Zergling. The third base area is available now for the Protoss player if he wants to use it. Where's that forward pylon? I feel like he needs one if he has the Warp Gate coming up. Also getting the +1 attack, a bunch of pylons. And yes, making more and more gateways Dark Shrine, it does take a long time to build, but it's just about finished here at the 8-minute mark. So what's the answer going to be from Tang? I don't see any spores. He's not worried about Stargate play, apparently, or else he probably have the spores up already, and he hasn't scouted much at all. If we check his vision, there it is. He only saw the very beginnings of that macro and the tech choices for Nemesis. So if we go back to the everyone, just warped him right on in his base, so warped him right about here. And the Dark Templar are coming down. There are 4 of them. This is pretty scary stuff. There is really nothing to detect against this for Tang. No spore crawlers, nothing at all. Everybody splits up. One heads over to this base. One's going to head down to the natural, I assume, and then 2 are going to go for the main. And what kind of damage is going to happen? They arrive all at the same time. Workers going down in 1 hit from these Templar. What's Tang's response going to be here? Is he going to morph an Overseer? Oh, he already does have an Overseer here. Excellent. Surrounding it with the workers. Does take that one out. This one is still alive. The Overseer coming over to take it out as well. And Overseer actually morphed over here at the 3rd, taking that Dark Templar out. So, good response time there, I would say, from Tang. It looks like he lost... Okay, he did lose 14 drones. Let me not overstate it there. Boy, he lost 14 drones in that attack. It must have been a lot over here that I missed, and a bunch over here as well. So it all just added up to a huge chunk. It is 63 to 50 harvesters, though. He's still way up on the Protoss player, so it didn't hurt him too badly, and he's still on 3 base to 2 base for the Protoss. Protoss is not too comfortable at moving out at this point. Those Dark Templar were pretty much his entire army for a while. Now he is making Stalkers. Dark Templar just biding his time, wants to get in here and attack, but there's a Spore Crawler being built. He will be met with some stiff resistance if he decides to go into that mineral line. And what are we making here? Spore Crawlers, Roaches, +1 attack for the ground ranged units. And Blinkers, Stalkers moving on out. Are they Blink Stalkers? They are. So we did research that, yes, Blink at the Twilight Council. So it's going to be Roaches against Blink Stalkers, which is pretty bad for Roaches if the Stalkers are controlled correctly. Just because Roaches aren't fast enough, they don't hit hard enough to really take advantage of the fact that the Stalkers are fairly weak, and the weak Stalkers blinking to the back can prolong their life exponentially. So here we are moving on up. Do we have an Observer to take down Creep Tumors? We do not. We're making a couple forward pylons here. Gonna blink in a lot of Stalkers, warp those in. A lot of Roaches coming in, though, for Tang. So he says, alright, you're gonna go Stalkers, I'm gonna go Roaches. A lot of Roaches with +1 upgrades, +2 on the way. 10 Roaches in production. It's 149 to 100 supply for our Zerg player. It's got to feel pretty good about that, and it is 61 to 50 Harvesters. He can replenish this army fairly well at the same time. So the Roaches come in, they have speed. Time Warp goes down, but doesn't do too much, actually, to manage all of these Roaches. Some good blinks happening now from Nemesis, moving back. The Mothership Core on top as well. The Queen coming up, providing some extra DPS. Overseers coming around back, just in case there are some Dark Templars in this army. It's going to be close, but I think the Roaches are doing a good job cleaning up these Stalkers. The Wounded Ones again, blinking to the back, doing a good job. That one wasn't quite fast enough, focusing down the weak ones. Some good micro there from Tang, but yes, we was forced to retreat a little bit, but 10 more Roaches on the way. Nothing in production for our Protoss player except a single Dark Templar. Okay, I guess 3 more Stalkers coming in now. Let's zoom out a little bit to catch all the action here on this ramp. What's going to happen? Roaches coming up from behind and from forward. The Dark Templar in there doing some hits, but actually getting hit by the Roaches as well, and does get taken down. Roaches getting up as close as possible to the Stalkers, doing a good job with them. A forward pylon actually trying to be made here in the 3rd base. Nemesis feeling a little bit bold at this point. Stalkers going down, Roaches going down. Good micro here from Tang, getting up to the back of the area, taking out those Stalkers as much as he can. There are only 4 left. Now making Hydralisks, which do much better against Blink Stalkers, especially if they have the extra range. I don't know if they do, but they just hit so much harder that the Blink Stalkers have less time to react and get out of there. So here we go. Transfuses going down on some of these Roaches, and I think the Stalkers are going to retreat here. Are they? I don't know. No, they do actually forces the Roaches back. So we'll have to see what happens. A bit of a regrouping here for Nemesis. A whole ton of Hydralisks coming out, though. How many Hydras on the field? It is 6 Hydralisks on the field with another one in production. So I misread that production tab a bit there, but either way, we are coming in now. We do have the +2 upgrades. That is just so useful against these Stalkers who do not have any defense or shield upgrades at all. So a couple Zealots coming in just to absorb some energy, just absorb some shots here. But here we are, the Roach and Hydra attack is going to be, I think, too much for these Blink Stalkers. The Blinks are trying to get back as much as they possibly can, but the Hydra is just sniping everything down. Nemesis knows he cannot win this battle. He's going to try to get out of there as much as he can. And yes, I think he knows it's over. He hasn't taken a third base at all. The forward pylons go down. Dark Templar is here, though, slicing away. Where are those Overseers? Here's one morphing, and I think the other ones must have died. A little bit of a wounded army here from Tang, but a strong army nonetheless. Nemesis knows he needs to push in and win here. He hasn't taken a third base at all. Dark Templar here at the front. Overseer sniped off. Good control there by Nemesis, which means the Dark Templar is in here doing a lot of damage, but is not enough to kill this entire army by himself. It is 131 to 69 supply. Tang feeling very comfortable sniping that forward pylon now, making Nemesis go all the way home again. And Nemesis calls the GG. That is it. So the Dark Templar Blink Stalker all in doesn't quite work. Tang is victorious in his match and his march to Grandmaster. This has been Falcon Paladin. If you like what you saw today, hit that like button, hit that subscribe as well to catch more daily StarCraft 2 professional uploads. You can also catch me on Twitch, Facebook, and Twitter, all at /Falcon Paladin on those social networking and streaming media sites. And until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.